I'm going to share with you the most life-changing Instagram glitch, Instagram hack. This is going to save millions of generations of influencers on Instagram. This is a big one, and I think this is going to change your life. I think today's episode is going to change your life. I just made a TikTok about this Instagram Reels hack, this Instagram Reels glitch. I made a TikTok about this yesterday afternoon. This video, this TikTok is up to 1.2 million views. If you're not one of the 1.2 million people who saw it, I'm going to give it to you in a recap. And if you are one of the 1.2 million people who saw it, you get to enjoy my lovely Sunday voice. This is episode 39 of The Edward Show. Thank you so much. And finally, without further ado, here's the hack, here's the glitch. Okay, I learned this from Gary V's Media Buyer, and then I tested it extensively myself. I'm going to say what the glitch is, and then I'm going to go into the nuances of the glitch, which I actually didn't have time to get to in the video because the video is under a minute long. Basically, when you put up a reel on Instagram Reels, the default is for it to share to your feed, to your profile grid. So the default is that this thing is toggled on and it says also share to feed, which shares it to your profile grid and shares it to your followers' timelines. And if you do that, most of the people who will see the reel, typically what happens is most of the people who will see the reel will be followers of yours. But if you toggle this off, if you opt to not share a new reel to your profile grid, to your feed, then it only shows in the Discover section of Instagram when Instagram recommends Reels to people. And for whatever reason, the people who will see it tend to be people who are not following you, and more people oftentimes will actually see your reels. And it's really crazy. Sometimes there can be, this is not 100% consistent, because sometimes a reel will get 0, sometimes it will get 7. I've actually found that if you share every reel to Instagram Reels, what happens is like the first reel will get shown to new people, the second reel will get shown to nobody, the third reel will get shown to new people, and it'll kind of repeat in this pattern. So you literally might have to just copy reels and repost them if it's shown to no people, and that will fix it. And what's cool, there are a bunch of things that are cool about this. One, this is a reliable way to gain new followers. I recently broke a plateau on Instagram by doing this. So I'm happy that I learned this. I wasn't growing on Instagram before this, and now I'm growing because I am doing this, and I wasn't growing before. 2, if you want to experiment with new styles on Instagram Reels, but you don't want your existing followers to see, this is a good way to do that. If you want to put out a video, but you're not certain that it's good, and you don't know if you want your followers to see it, but you do want people to see it, you want to get that feedback, I do this all the time, then this is a good way to do that. Your followers, or most of your followers, will not see the reel, but new people will. And if it's good, then you grow, and eventually what you do, if it's good, is you can just put it onto your profile grid, and people will see it, or you can re-upload it as well. You don't get penalized on Instagram when you put up a reel more than one time. So I do more than one time. I do it all the time. So you can do that too. Actually, I had that happen. I've had that happen many times, where a reel, a video did way better than I thought it would. And then over the course of several months, I just re-put it up. And sometimes I don't put it to my profile grid, and other times I do. Because I think a great piece of content is evergreen. And if you have a high-performing piece of content, you should use it over and over again. That's actually a trick for getting new followers. And I'll do that all the time across many different platforms, not just Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook Reels, Twitter, everywhere. If you have a good piece of content, milk that-ish. Milk it. Milk it like a cow. If you got a good piece of content, milk it so hard. Drink the chocolate milk from that good piece of content. Yeah, no, for real. You should totally do that. So that was one, and that was two. And then I don't know, I don't even remember what one was. One was you get more followers, you break plateaus. Two was you can experiment with new types of content. There was a third, and actually, I just think it's like the highs are higher and the lows are lower. That's like number three. But either way, this is like people are really resonating with this. I don't know if it's a glitch. I don't know if it's a hack, but it does work. People are loving this. I love this. I do this very often, and literally for months, I had all of my reels going to my profile grid, and it was too much. Too many people were like, "You're putting out too much content. Put out less content." And I didn't know how to do it because I wanted to get those new followers on Instagram. And it turns out I just shouldn't have been putting all of my videos to my profile grid, maybe half. And that's what I'm doing now, and it's been working really well for me. I think this is a very good actionable piece of advice. A lot of people like it. And that's all for the Sunday episode of The Edward Show. The Edward Show. Had a great day yesterday with a friend of mine who, oh man, I wish I could talk about some of these stories. He was getting drinks with a very famous producer and writer. And what did I learn about? So this guy, I won't say his name. He's made some of the biggest movies in the last 10 years. He's older. And my friend is younger, and my friend is active on TikTok and social media like I am. And this older, very successful director, producer, all he wanted to know is about TikTok. He wanted to understand TikTok more because TikTok is still the hot thing that a lot of older, successful, more traditional people don't understand and wish they could understand. And so if you understand TikTok, it is like a superpower, and you should be very proud of that and tell a lot of people about it, honestly. And the thing is, like, TikTok is very different from traditional media because you got to understand what a hook is. You need to understand how to create a story, how to hook people in and create a story. And it's also the type of thing, it's like learning any sport. You do it more and you get better over time, that was the other thing with the Instagram Reels thing. If you're doing something and you give up and then you don't come back to it, what you don't realize is you're giving up on the compounding effects that you get by learning all these different hacks, all these different skills that compound on each other and ultimately make you do that curve upwards, which is very hard to see at the beginning and much easier to see when you're at the top, because a lot of people, when they make it, it feels like they made it. They went from 0 to 1 basically immediately, but they didn't, and they know it and they talk about it. It was all these different compounding effects that just brought them up really fast, and they had to learn these things over time. This Instagram Reels thing is something like that if you post actively on social media. And it's one of many, and I love these many different actionable tips, and I look forward to sharing a lot more of them because they're fun for me to learn. They're fun for me to try and experiment. They're fun for me to share. All right, for real, episode 39. I will talk to you. Guess when I'm going to talk to you? You already know when I'm going to talk to you. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.